Esme, and today I thought I'd do another chilled, chatty video. So grab yourself a drink, a snack, anything like that, because this is going to be one of those videos that you can play in the background if you may be getting ready for the day, that kind of thing. I love listening to chatty videos while I'm getting ready, or if I'm doing something else, just have one in the background. So today I'm actually going to be doing some tack cleaning while I answer some assumptions that you guys have made on Instagram. Now I know this sort of trend has been around for quite a while. I've done it on my Instagram before and you guys have always really enjoyed it, so I thought I'd make it into a video, and also a bit of a chatty one as well. So you guys have made some assumptions, some that I know you guys know are false but you've asked them anyway, things like that, some things that you think might be true that might not be. So anyway, I'm gonna be talking about myself a lot today, which feels weird. I like talking about the horses. Some of the assumptions are about the horses though, so I have quite a lot on my phone that I've saved. You guys asked so many, so thank you so much to everyone who put some assumptions on my Instagram. I'm really sorry if I don't answer yours. So the first one is that I film every other day, which is false. So over here in England we have a lot of days that are very rainy, which are not the easiest to film. I should probably start cleaning my tack, if not I'm just going to be sitting here and talking the whole time. Your gal can multitask. I also have my sort of I think it's a snowflake, little cute snowflake sponge today. As you guys know, I love my wild sponges. So no, it really depends week on week. It depends on the weather, it depends on how many videos I need to edit, because some videos they take longer to film, some videos take longer to edit. It really does depend on the video. Some videos take days to film. For example, my Halloween video, for like almost 2 weeks, every evening at 4 or 5 o'clock I would film that video because it all had to be done looking like it was at the same time. A video like this will probably take as long as it does to film, if that makes sense. Wait. Yeah, so for these videos, like a video like this is very easy to edit, where I'm just chatting. I don't have to plan that much either because I'm very spontaneously just going through the questions and answering them. I don't script any of my videos. I think the only time I have to script my videos is if I'm doing something for a brand, or if I'm maybe interviewing a rider and I need to know what questions I'm going to ask them. So do I film every day or every other day? No, but I do film more often in the summer. Like in the summer, what I did when I was at school actually, if it was like half term, that kind of thing, during half term I would film every day just because I had more time and I wasn't worrying about getting to school, coming home from school, it being dark. I could schedule my day depending on daylight hours, which again I still do in the winter, especially having 2 horses to ride, 3 horses to muck out. It can be quite a lot to film, edit, ride all of them when there's only so many hours in the day that it's light. So it really does depend on how I'm feeling, what I'm filming, and how long things take. Okay, that is Mr. Casper's girth clean. I'm going to leave it to dry a little bit before I think I'm going to do all the cleaning first and then I'll do the leather conditioning afterwards. I don't know why, that's just how I usually do things. So I can put that aside and we can go on to Mr. Joey's girth next. Oh yeah, I need to look at another question to answer. Okay, the next one is, I will keep all the ponies forever, and that is true, or hopefully true. Obviously you never know what could happen, like with different circumstances, but I wish and I hope to keep all of the ponies forever. The next one is that I am close with my family, which is very true. I feel like my family, I see them more as like friends, like even my parents. I feel like if there's anything going on in my life, I feel like I could talk to them about it, that kind of thing, which I think is really lucky and really nice to have a relationship with them, and they've always been really supportive of what I do. So yeah, no, I'm very lucky that I have a really good relationship with my whole family, including Max, even though sometimes when we were younger we'd have little mini sibling arguments and things, but no, we do seriously get along really well. So yeah, next question. Was I popular in school? Now this one was, a few people put this, which makes me laugh really, because I was not popular at school. I'd say obviously all schools are different, but we had quite a small year group, so there were kind of 3 big friendship groups, and I'd say there were like smaller friendship groups within those friendship groups. I don't know if other people's schools were like So there were the people, there were like the popular people, which were really just like a group of people that pretty much would, this sounds really rude, but they would the amount of times I heard them saying bad things about their friends and talking behind each other's backs. So when they were kind of like horrible to me and things, I just didn't take it seriously or personally, because like, if you're talking horribly about your friends, then I don't care if you talk horrible about me, because you obviously just think everyone's awful. But no, I was not popular in school at all. I was very much keep my head down, like quiet in school. Obviously with my friends, I'm really weird. I'm definitely an introvert. That was also another one. A lot of people ask me if I'm an introvert or an extrovert. I'm an introvert, but when I'm with people I'm comfortable with, like my friends, I can be very loud and wild. But if it's with people I don't know, like at school during lessons, I would listen and do my work and just focus on that. I would never like mess around and things. I was definitely a goody two shoes, but I got my good grades, so I'm happy with that. And no, I was not popular in school. I was very quiet, and when you're the horse girl that does YouTube, you don't tend to be the popular one at school. But honestly, I feel like once you finish, like when I finished GCSEs and went to college, it was totally different. There were so many people that just were, I don't know how to describe it, but people would just, wherever you go, there are going to be people that don't like you, and there are going to be people that say horrible things. It doesn't matter what school you go to. But once you grow up, like when you go to college when you're 16, here in the UK you finish high school or secondary school at 16, and then you go to college or sixth form after that. College and sixth form is so much better, like the work is a lot harder, so that's a downside, but I just feel like it's a lot less sort of like toxic, if that makes sense. But no, I was not popular at school, and it makes me laugh that you guys thought or think I was. Next question. I feel like I'm going to be very rambly in this video, so I'm really sorry if I go on to lots of tangents, but I feel like it's just one of those videos where I'm just, you know, we're just sitting here having a bit of a chat. So the next one is Joey never bucks or rears. Oh. It's so sad because it has happened before. Joey doesn't rear, and he doesn't really buck either. What he does is, it's so strange, if he's excited or a little bit nervous at something, he will just jump up in the air off all fours. I don't know how he does it. It's like he's a little kangaroo. He just kind of like springs up into the air. It's wild. He does go quite high up as well. It looks like the things that they do in the Spanish riding school when the horses like jump up and buck out. That's Joey's kind of thing. So recently, it's actually been quite nice weather. I say that, it's a bit cloudy today. But a few weeks ago, when it was snowy and icy and Joey was in all the time, there was probably about a week or two where every time I would canter him, he'd pretty much throw in a few moves, a few bucks and things. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get any of it on it. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get any of it on video, so I can't show you guys, but they were pretty impressive. I think the reason why we didn't get it on film was because we were kind of worried about, you know, me flying off, but no, I was fine. I feel like with everyone and every horse, there's this one time of the year where the horses just have this wild energy. If it's because they've been in too much, because it's the winter, if it's because the fresh spring grass is growing. I get this every year around this sort of time, where the horses just decide to be a little bit more wild, a little bit spicier than usual. And I feel like that's just what we've currently gone through with Joey. Now I know what sort of moves he does. He kind of just, I can tell when he's gonna explode because he kind of bunches up, so I really have to work on getting him moving forward, which when you're on a slightly spicy horse, the last thing you think of or want to do is make your horse move forward, but that's the way that helps the most. I need to do some leather conditioning now, sorry, little pause while I get the leather conditioner out, or the leather balsam. We have a pineapple today. But no, Joey does put in some moves. He does seem like the perfect horse on YouTube, which he is the majority of the time. I'm very lucky. but with whatever horse you get, they're gonna bust some moves at some point, and it's just learning to take the rough with the smooth, because with whatever horse, wherever, there's gonna be some times where things are a little bit more difficult, and everyone goes through that, and you do get the light at the end of the tunnel. A week ago, I was like, oh my gosh, cantering Joey in the school, scary. Now it's like, Esme, what were you even worrying about? So, yeah, if you're going through a difficult time with your horse, just know we all have it sometimes, especially this time of year when they're feeling a little bit fresh. That was such a weird I would want to compete at the Olympics or in the Olympics. No, I have never dreamed of going to the Olympics or doing that. Number one, I am not a good enough rider to do that. Thank you for thinking that that would ever be on the cards for me, but no. Oh, sorry guys, should have turned phones off on set. Phones off on set. Okay, goodbye. Sorry about the little inconvenience there. But no, I don't know, I've seen a lot of top riders and things, and the lifestyle, they work so hard. Like, all they do is riding and working to do good at shows and that kind of thing, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy riding and I enjoy going out and going to shows and things for fun, but when you make something that's your passion into a job, it's great because you get to do what you love every day. But also, it is still work, and I think for me, I would always want to kind of do riding as a hobby. Like, obviously, technically I am a professional rider as a job, but a professional YouTube rider, but it's a little bit different. Like, I don't have the pressure of having to go out and win at shows every single weekend, and I don't think I would want that pressure on me, and just all the sacrifices that they have to make to get to the top, if that's going to the gym every day and just working tirelessly and riding all the time. I really admire all the top riders, but that's not the lifestyle that I want. I'm just happy with my ponies, having fun and filming YouTube videos. Next we have, I am 5'5". I'd say I'm 5'6", especially with shoes on. I'm definitely 5'6". I'm just like a tiny bit off, so I usually just say I'm 5'6". But yeah, around that sort of height, that is correct. Next is, I don't like my curly hair. So as you guys know, my hair is naturally curly, and sometimes I wear it straight, sometimes I wear it curly. It depends on how I'm feeling. In the winter, I tend to have my hair straight more often, just because if I've showered and I blow dry it, then if I blow dry it, it doesn't go curly, it goes kind of frizzy, and then I'll straighten it afterwards. Or I can kind of blow dry it straight. Sorry, this is like a really weird thing. I've been talking about horses the whole time, and now I'm talking about my hair. But my curl pattern definitely isn't as tight as it used to be since I've like gone blonde, even though I've been blonde since I was like 14, 15. So, but no, I do like my curly hair. It's just a bit more practical in the winter to have it straight, because then it means I can blow dry it and I don't have to stand there in the cold with my hair drying naturally, because when it's naturally dried, it looks the nicest curly. But also if I brush it, like, or if it's the day after, then my curl pattern goes all kind of weird from me sleeping in it, so it just doesn't look as nice the next day, so I would put it in a ponytail. Like, I didn't straighten or blow dry my hair, but it's just kind of gone frizzy and whatever, because it's obviously I've ridden 2 horses today and mucked out and things, so my hair isn't looking the best at the moment, but my tack is, that's for sure. Okay, next we are going to go on to Mr. Casper's bridle. I've been calling them Mr. for some reason. I don't know why. It's just like a little, I go through lots of different nicknames for the horses. So we have Baby Joey, Mr. Joey, Sir Joey, I don't know. I don't know why I like to make their names longer or shorter, or like Casper has always been Caspy. Sometimes I call him, oh gosh, did I just flick that in my eye? Nice one. What other assumptions do I have on here before I talk about all the embarrassing nicknames I have for my horses? some people, oh no, one person put, I don't enjoy riding Casper as much now I have Joey, which I'd say is actually the opposite. It sounds weird, but since I've had Joey, I feel like my appreciation for Casper has gone up a lot, which I love, just to put that out there, I love all of my horses the same. Not that, and that is never going to change. But since having Joey, who is a young horse, there are just a lot of things I've had to teach him or I have to be wary about. When with Casper, sorry, I'm just undoing my whole bridle at the moment if you're wondering. With Casper, because I've had him for so long, I know him so well that I can just have fun with him. Now he's older, I don't have to worry. Like, obviously I still do school him and things, but I have a lot less pressure on myself to always be perfect with him when I can get on him, do bareback, have a bit of fun. Also, when it comes to filming and taking photos, he knows what to do. He knows the YouTube life. Like, when we take photos, he just stands there and he's very good at it. When with Joey, we've had to teach him to stand still. Just things like when I get the horses in from the field and I wash their legs off, Casper stands there perfectly. Joey, not so much. And it's like, Casper is just so easy to do everything with. He's the perfect all-rounder. If it's taking him in the van, I won't have to think, oh, how many minutes is it going to take to load him, when I do with Joey at the moment. Hopefully that will change. But no, I feel like it's quite fun just getting on Casper, being like, oh, I'm on my little pony, and just cantering him round. And I don't know, I love both of them, but everything's a lot more carefree with Casper. I think that's how I'm going to put it, and I feel like I'm a lot more confident on Casper just because I've had him for that much longer. I know him that much better, but all three boys I love the same. And this was another one. Loads of people were like, oh, Joey's your favourite, oh, Mickey's your favourite, oh, Casper's your favourite. I do not have a favourite, but something I've been doing with my family recently, which is just a little bit of fun, and I don't want anybody to get offended by this, but at the moment I've been doing like horse of the day or horse of the week. So if I have a day maybe where Mickey has decided to roll in the muddiest patch and Casper and Joey are perfectly clean and have been angels all day, maybe Joey learned something new and he was really good at it, then Joey would be horse of the day and Mickey would be the naughty horse of the day, or the bottom of the pyramid if we were in Dance Moms, if you know what I mean. But so I kind of like rank each horse, but it changes every single day. So I kind of joke like, oh, Casper's my favourite today because he was the best and he worked really hard in our flat work session, that kind of thing. And I just like joke around, but obviously I do not have a favourite horse. I love them equally, all the same, and I could never choose between them. I don't want to count how many saddle pads I have. So, the other day I decided, you know what, I will count how many saddle pads I have, but do I want to tell you how many saddle pads I have? That is a different question. I was going to tell you the number that I counted, but the other day Lemire did send me 4 that I need to take photos with, so that number has gone up, but I'm gonna say it is probably close to between 40 and 50, and that is excessive and that is too much, but it is my job and I do get sent quite a few, so don't hate me for my saddle pad addiction. I know it's a problem, I'm getting through it, but we're gonna have to take baby steps. Some people put I have a swimming pool. I don't have a swimming pool. I wish I had a swimming pool. That would be so nice, but it would have to be an indoor one because blimey, it is cold here in England. You'd only be able to use it half the year. This one Lauren put, I'm scared of wasps, which is so random but so accurate. Like, I feel like most people are scared of like normal things like sharks or snakes or spiders. All of those don't bother me, but wasps do, and that is because I'm actually allergic to wasps. So I think I must have been like 8 or 9 at the time. I got stung by a wasp and I had this massive allergic reaction to it. I was all swollen and my cheeks were all puffy. It was not a good experience. So now if there are wasps, I know you're supposed to stand still, but I will avoid those things at all costs. I'm not the biggest fan of wasps. Love bees. Wasps, I'm sorry, but you're not for me. My phone is going to get so dirty. I've got like dirty tack cleaning hand on my phone. I'm going to have to give it a bit of a clean after this. Oh, I was also asked if I want to get another donkey, which I actually get this quite a lot. Obviously, I get asked a lot if I want another horse. You guys know that's probably not going to happen for a while. I've got quite my hands full with 3. But another donkey, that is a different question. Now, as much as I would love another donkey, having 3 is quite a lot. These 3 have been together for longer than I've been on this planet, which is a long time. I think the only reason why we would get another donkey would probably be if it was a rescue or if we were down to 1, because donkeys are definitely herd animals and they probably wouldn't, if there was just 1 left and they were living with the horses, even though donkeys live for donkeys of years, so you never know, the donkeys might outlive the horses, you never know. Oh, I don't want to talk about these sad things, but no, if we only had 1 donkey left, then probably, but anytime soon getting another donkey, don't think that's on the cards. Somebody assumed that I do YouTube for the money, which is not true at all. I feel like the thing that every YouTuber says when people being like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, what's like your best advice is, don't think of it as a job, think of it as a hobby. YouTube is a really weird job because you don't have a big bad boss that's like, I'm gonna fire you if you don't do your work. You have to be very self-motivated and you have to be very creative as well because you have to come up with all the video ideas. Like, I don't want to complain about it as a job, but because all jobs are hard in lots of different ways and I'm very lucky that it is my job. But I feel like the people that do well-ish on YouTube, the people that do well on YouTube are the ones that really do enjoy it. I feel like if you want to do YouTube for the money, or if you want to do YouTube to get famous or whatever YouTube comes with it, then you're not going to do well because people will, number 1, see through that, and number 2, you just won't have the stamina. I made videos for a year and literally nobody watched them. And I made videos for 2 years or 3 years without earning a single penny from YouTube because I never thought that an equestrian channel would be popular or people would be interested in it because it's such a niche sport. And so yeah, no, I don't do YouTube for the money. I'm very lucky that I can call it my full-time job, but I never did it for that intention, if that makes sense. So this is a slightly different one. Somebody assumed that I am nervous to jump bigger than what I'm like jumping at the moment, which like I'd say like my comfort height is around like 93 foot kind of thing. But I'd say no, because this is like one of the things I hate about the equestrian world is when people judge your riding ability on how high you jump. For example, I have Casper, who I've had for 7 years now, so he was a pony that we got when I was 12, so we bought him for my ability when I was 12, but I didn't want to sell him to get another horse, and I could only get Joey, my new horse, when I saved up and bought for him with all my own money. And Joey, again, is a young horse, so am I going to be jumping 1.40 m, 1.30 m courses with him at the moment? No, not at all. So I think a lot of it is down to accessibility. There are some people out there that I know that are incredible riders that have never owned their own horse. I've got a friend who's loaned or ridden so many different horses for people. She's taken them cross country, but like she regularly doesn't jump high at the moment because she doesn't have a horse that's capable of doing that. A lot of it can be down to financial reasons or just like the time, that kind of thing, and all riders are learning. All riders are at different stages of their riding journey, I guess. So at the moment I do not have horses capable of jumping really high. Like obviously Joey is capable of that, but he's still young, and less I do with him jumping wise now, the more he'll be able to do when he's older, stronger, mentally like older and more capable and intelligent of, I don't know, sorting out strides, that kind of thing. So I'd rather do less with him now and save his legs and be able to do more with him when he's older. Like, of course, we've gone to Hicksted and jumped like 1 meter cross-country fences and things, which is fun to do every now and again, but it's not something I want to do right now all the time. I'd rather work on his flat work a lot, which we're doing a lot, and he's improved a lot, so we can jump bigger and he's more comfortable jumping bigger and he has the ability to jump bigger. But all those things are going to come with time. I decided to get a young horse so I can make him the horse I want him to be, and he was cheaper because he was younger too, so there's that. But no, yeah, what was I saying? So now I would love to jump bigger. When I went and tried some horses, there were a few that I did jump bigger that I'd never ridden before, but it really does depend on the horse. And right now, me and Joey were taking things slow, and we're also in a lockdown at the moment. So even if I wanted to jump big, we'd only be able to do that in our arena, which Joey finds a little bit small, especially as he struggles a little bit with the tighter turns. So by the time we've done one jump, we're the other side of the arena. So yeah, maybe in the summer and things we'll jump a bit bigger, but we're just having fun, and I'm just improving his fat work at the moment. Next question. Somebody assumed that Casper is now bomb-proof. So if you've seen like my riding story or riding journey videos, then you will know Casper was a very spooky horse when I first got him, and he is definitely so much better compared to when I first got him. When it used to be that I'd only ride him in a circle in the middle of arena, because if I rode him like around one of the corners, he would just spook in every corner. So we have definitely come a long way since then. But no, he is not completely bomb-proof, and I can prove that because I took Casper on a hack today, and there was a tractor with a hedge cutter, and he was not happy. There were a lot of squeals, a lot of snorts. He did a little bit of a bolt. He wanted to run away ASAP from that thing. So is Casper 100% bomb-proof? No. When I took him show jumping back in, must have been October, I think it was. We took him to an indoor where he was definitely a lot more on edge and nervous compared to usual. He didn't do anything malicious or nasty, but I could just tell he was, because I hadn't taken him to an indoor for a while because lockdown. He just wasn't how he is at home, and I think he's always going to be a bit nervous. I talked to one of my instructors about this, and he thinks that like Casper has like a little bit of anxiety or something. He's always been a little bit nervous. But when he's with me, he trusts me so much because we've been together and been through so much. So he's definitely a lot better because he trusts me in certain situations, but he's definitely still not 100% bomb-proof. And horses are flight animals. They're going to be spooky at things. Like Joey, it sounds weird, but Joey I've had for a lot less time, and he's a lot younger and has seen a lot less of the world. But Joey is better to hack than Casper when it comes to traffic and things. Like a motorbike and the bin lorry man and all the scary things you could ever imagine, like a rattly trailer goes past Joey. He's like, "Hi dude," and Casper's there shaking like, "Oh my goodness, what is that? It's gonna eat me." But no, so it really just so yeah, Casper is not 100% bomb-proof. I wish he was, but no horses are 100% bomb-proof. You never know, something could happen. Even Mickey, of all the horses, he could freak out at something, and I've had him for what, 11 years now. Oh my goodness. But no, all horses, they're gonna look at something at some stage, even if it is once every 3 years or something. Ooh, somebody assumed that I am going to move out soon, which is not true, because I'm quite happy, you know, where I am. I've got my loft, so I've got my own little personal space, which is nice. I'm with the horses, so it means that I wouldn't have to wake up really early to go and see them and feed them in the mornings. I can just roll out of bed and be like, "Hey dudes." But no, definitely not on the cards anytime soon, because I don't think many people would want to give a 19-year-old a mortgage, let alone don't have the money to move out anyway. If I did move out, I would want it to be somewhere near, and we do live in the middle of nowhere, and there are not many houses, and not many houses for sale, and not many houses that I could afford. So no, not anytime soon. Maybe in like a good couple of years once I've saved all my monies, but not soon, guys. I'm only 19. God blimey, talking about like assuming things for the future. Somebody assumed that I want kids. I do want kids, but anytime soon, no. I'm too busy looking after my fur babies. I got my horses, my chickens, my donkeys, my guinea pigs. I am busy enough with those guys. The only kids that I want right now are baby goats. And as much as I'd love baby goats, do I have the time for baby goats? No. But in the future, I would like kids, yes. Just not now. Not now. Any other ones? So, I'm actually pretty much almost finished tack cleaning. What's the time? Oh wow, we've been doing this video for a while. So the last question I'm gonna answer is, this is a scandalous one. Okay, you secretly don't like working with some brands, and that I can say is 100% false. I have never worked with a brand that I don't like. There have been some brands, I'm not gonna lie, some brands are easier to work with than others. Some understand YouTube a lot more, some just get it straight away, and they understand what I do, especially when it comes to the equestrian world. It has taken some brands a little while to understand what I do and what I can offer them when it comes to like sponsorship, things like that. But no, if I'm going to work with a brand, it's 100% going to be a brand that I would personally buy from, or I love, if that makes sense. For example, before I started working with Charles Owen, I actually had offers from 2 other different helmet companies, and I did think about them for a while, but I was like, okay, if I'm going to be promoting a company, oh no, I forgot to put my, see, this is what happens when I multitask. I'm thinking about talking about things, and I didn't put Casper's brow band on. This is Casper's bridle, by the way, if you were wondering. Forgot to put that on. There we go. Oh yeah, so what I was saying is, so I was thinking, if I'm going to be promoting a brand about like safety and things, like helmets are so important, you want to make sure you've got a safe helmet. I had never researched helmets before. I had never really looked into safety standards or things like that, and when I did, I was like, okay, if I'm going to work with a helmet brand, I want it to be a helmet brand that I 100% agree with, that their safety standards are one of the best on the market, and I can definitely say that with Charles Owen. I've had, like, they've also, when it comes to brands, if I haven't purchased their products before, then I do like to test them out before I work with a brand, just to make sure that I do actually like them, and I'm making sure you guys are being promoted something that I generally love. So yeah, also when I work with brands, I try and do things that help you guys too. So I love doing giveaways, which you guys love as well. So I can kind of give back to you guys as well, because I don't know, I just feel like it's rude not to, if not, you know, if I'm, I don't know. I just feel like it's a nice thing to do, so it's not just me benefiting from the partnership, you guys get something as well. But yeah, no, all the brands I've ever worked with, I do 100% believe in, trust and love. And I'm very lucky to work with some as well. Like, it still blows my mind when I get offered different sponsorships or different things, and I'm very lucky. Okay, I need to put this back on. I'm really bad at doing like visuospatial things, such as putting bridles back together and talking at the same time, because my brain is like, okay, do I concentrate on the talking? Do I concentrate on the putting the bridle back together? Like, cleaning's fine, you're just, you know, cleaning, but this is more like, okay, I better put this back together properly, or Casper's not gonna have a fun time. So I'll just pop this little buckle through the keeper. And then all I have left is to put the reins on. So anyway, guys, I think that is all of the assumptions. We have had quite a few. We've had some juicy ones as well. Alright guys, I think I'm going to finish it here because my bridle is now clean, my tack is now clean. I've gone through quite a few assumptions and this video is going to be way too long. But anyway, I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone who put in some assumptions for me. Really, again, I'm sorry that I couldn't answer all of them, but hopefully I'll do a few more on my Instagram sometime if you guys would like that. I'd also like to say a huge thank you for watching today's video, especially if you made it to the end, because this is probably a pretty long one. If you're new or have not done so already, please like and subscribe. It really does help me out and I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you all next time. Bye! Okay, better put this all away now. Let's go before it rains.